Goblins. One of the most iconic and classic fantasy creatures. I for one have slayed a lot of goblins, and some anime or manga made me sad about it, others made me happy about it. Goblins have a lot of different representations in different media forms. So, one of the most classic fantasy creatures, most of them are depicted as rather weak but smart monsters, pretty crafty. And oh boy, many of their variations are horny as hell. Our worst offenders probably would be the goblins from Goblin Slayer. Those are ones I don't have any sympathy for. At least for now. Maybe we'll learn anything in Goblin Slayer that the goblins don't have any control of what they're doing. Maybe there's a nice goblin, who knows, we will learn. Well, at least the goblins in Slime Isekai are nice and good for comedic value. Hey, my name is Pyro Prima, and today I will show you a new series called Just a Goblin, which you can find on Webtoon. I also left you a link in the description of this video. Just a Goblin has a team of 3 creators behind it, namely Brandon Chen, Inu Pen, and JKS Manga. I like the artwork they use as the banner of the story. You can see it here. I did some creative liberty on adding a different background and stuff, because the only art the creators added were the characters here, and then that's the header of the webtoon. The dusk background is just from me because it looks more aesthetic, I think. So, I like the artwork. The goblins still feel like goblins, even though they are presented cooler than in other series, and in general the art style looks nice for an action fantasy story. Currently there are only, I think, 12 chapters out of this webtoon, but the good thing about webtoon is that we don't need to fear the X, unlike Shonen Jump. Webtoon series don't really get cancelled as far as I know at this point, so I'm looking forward for whatever the story holds in, ready for us. Do your thing, I will read it from start to finish, probably, unless there's some really fucked up shit, let's just say it like that. So, with that being said, this is the time to take a look at the summary of this new webtoon to form a first imaginary picture of what might await us in the future. So, here it is. For centuries, adventurers have slaughtered monsters for sports and hunted goblins for their body parts and linens. But why? This is the question Nog the Goblin inventor has been trying to answer. After accidentally unlocking an arcane power that allows Nog to level up and grow in strength, he finally discovers the confidence to chase the answer to his question. Nog will set on a perilous quest across the world with his best friend Goblin to discover why humans hunt goblins. Can monsters and adventurers live in peace? Oh god, are goblins misunderstood creatures in this world? Poor Nog and Goblin. I know humans can be assholes. The only reason I can think of why they specifically hunt goblins would be that they can create armor from the body parts, or maybe they use them in alchemy for potions, or it's just for fun. Well, humans are weird creatures, but that is at least to my knowledge of goblins and humans. But just maybe goblins in this universe have special properties. Monster cores that can be used for energy, goblin skin giving potions better effects, or whatever. Goblins are very versatile, so we still need to learn the biology of the goblins in this webtoon. Who knows why humans hunt monsters or goblins? Thinking of human nature, this could also just be that beginner human fighters are ordered to fight goblins to gain experience. Even if goblins don't pose any danger to humanity, they might just be very good training tools. That's all about goblin society. Another thing in the summary piqued my interest. First of all, Nog is an inventor. I don't remember many true inventors as protagonists, so this is gonna be fun. But the real bomb is the ability to level up. Go for it, Nog. I know you can become the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the goblin banging on your chest. Leveling up is something that became really popular in the recent years. For the vast majority, solo leveling was a big introduction to the system genre, and leveling up is a part of that. Now, let's just hope that this is a slow growth series, as I say it pretty much in every story I review here. Don't make the same mistakes solo leveling did. Please let the protagonist loose and take more than 10 chapters to become one of the strongest in the universe. Something the summary didn't even mention is the cute ghost-like creature we can see together with Nog and Goblin. What is up with that little adorable fella? Oh yeah, and that classic human shonen protagonist will probably also play a big role. The only question is if he will become an ally of Nog and the goblins, or if he's going to be an antagonist for our goblin gang. However, now I'm going to give you a warning. From here on out, I will talk about the events of the first chapter of Just a Goblin. Read it yourself first or don't mind small spoilers, cause here we go. Just a Goblin seems like a very basic fantasy story from the perspective of a goblin. Well, I might add that it is only the cause in the first chapter. Nog is our protagonist, and he is a special goblin. All other members of his tribe are exactly like the goblins you know. They don't think about much and work with very stupid tactics. Only Nog tries to invent things, to innovate and improve the life of the goblins. However, his inventions still are prone to failure. But he has the right mindset. One single failed invention is not the end, it's just the beginning. Trial and error, one day he will succeed. After Nog and Goblin hunted some boars successfully, human adventurers appeared. With this, we already know that goblins are not at the very bottom of the food chain, but they are still considered weak. The human adventurers talk about quests and needing the ears of goblins, but until the end of the first chapter, we haven't yet learned why they are after these ears. As I thought, it might just be a proving method that they slayed the goblins. With that said, the humans are not really that interesting in this chapter. There was only one moment that gave me an idea. After the goblins got away, one human can be seen using some sort of blue flying screen. As a gamer myself, this obviously screams status screen or a quest log, but that is not the interesting part alone. What caught my attention was that one human reacted to the character moving his hand across the blue screen. What he said was, "What's he doing with his hands? There's nothing there." And you know what that means? We have a few different possibilities of what could be going on in that scene. Either that one human is just special and has this system to help him grow. After all, we already learned through the summary that Nog will also get a level up system. So who is to say that there can't be other people with the same power? But the second option, which I think is much more interesting, is that this story takes place inside of a game. That would mean that Nog and all of the goblins are NPC monsters, and the human unable to see the screen is also an adventurer NPC. Only the boy with the screen is a player. It is a classic starter quest in an MMORPG to hunt goblins, so it would fit right into the picture. Plus, these types of stories always have NPCs with highly advanced AIs that could explain the realistic behavior of characters and monsters. So, a normal NPC goblin gets lucky and gets a special ability to level up, making him a unique goblin. Later down the line, maybe a boss monster or the Demon King himself. Personally, I think that would be a cool premise for a story. What do you think about this chapter 1 theory? Maybe it already got disproven by the few chapters out already, but where's the fun if I don't theorize? Anyways, please share your opinions and thoughts in the comments as well. I would love to talk with you about the new Goblin webtoon. The penultimate scene of this introduction chapter is the Goblin Elder, talking about changing up the strategy of the Goblin tribe on how to deal with adventurers. But for us readers, it quickly becomes clear that this old man is actually not very wise. All he wants to do is throw more goblins at the adventurers, because quantity is better than quality apparently, and if that wasn't already enough, he also mocks Nog for inventing things and not showing any results. Nog is different, like I said earlier. He shows way more intelligence compared to the other goblins. It is like they are programmed to be easy experience points for beginner players. Learning that they reproduce in incredible numbers further proves my points. One goblin family apparently consists of over 300 goblins, which could mean that there are tens of thousands, if not more goblins always giving birth to more of them. Or just maybe it is a respawning feature to make sure players can always hunt goblins for quests, experience points, and money. Well, that's only the case if this turns out to be a game. But we don't know that from just the first chapter. This is a story I would like to binge to get the answers and learn more about the world. But reading it weekly will also be a nice experience, I would say. But it will never fall into the fast pass hell that Webtoon has. I don't have the money for that. Webtoon has another promising new series in its schedule now. For me, it would be really interesting to see numbers. Numbers for the amount of readers a Webtoon has, to compare them with the performance numbers of manga, or more specifically Shonen Jump. What do you think? Is Webtoon already on the same level as Shonen Jump? Maybe already better? Feel free to tell me that in the comments as well. But now let's get to the ranking. Just a Goblin received a 7.6 out of 10 from me, placing it as the new second place in our list. Here you can see the current standings. As always, I try to stay objective. The most important factors for me are potential, which can be seen in me instantly having questions about the world and forming theories, general enjoyment, the characters, the art style, and the flow of the first chapter. Altogether, they can build up to 10 points. How many points would you give Just a Goblin? Please share your scores with me as well. All that's left to say is this has been Pyro Primer. I hope all of you stay happy, healthy, and most importantly, cultured. If you want to find yet another new series, why don't you check out the video about the current rank 1 on my list? You can find it right here. Click on it. What are you waiting for? It will change your life, I swear. Bye!